power. Give the thing a break. We have one guy who works around the corner who came in. I think he bought some chicken and he gave it to his son, who's a little kid. And the kid didn't know why it was better than the normal stuff, but he just looked at his dad and was like, "What am I eating? Why is this so much better?" And it's like, if a little kid notices, then, you know, there's a reason. I hate to say that because it sounds kind of snobby to me, like we're educating our customers, but what's really, we're just giving them more often than not less expensive alternatives to the stuff that they're used to. You know, you're not going to find a Palaron steak in the styrofoam package of the Jewel. That's kind of funny. Did somebody send you in here looking for that?
I came in a week before. It was awesome.
Oh, and you had to, I actually sold the one that I had last night. That was the little thin one, right?
Yeah.
So I sold that to a guy last night, and but I do have another similar cut. It comes from the same, basically that stuff all comes from right about here.
Okay.
So you've got the flank steak, and then you've got the vacío, which sits right about here. But then underneath that, you've got what's called the sirloin flap. And there's an Argentine name for it that I can't remember. And the piece of paper I had written down fell out of my pocket or something.
It is the butcher shop.
It is the butcher shop. I hope he says that for a long time. I got into the butchering thing a long time ago. And I never thought it would kind of take over, but it evolved into me wanting to open a restaurant that was, specifically whole animal, everything butchered in-house. I started cooking at a French restaurant out near where I grew up, and then I moved out east, went to culinary school, worked in New York for a little while, met my wife. And then after 9/11, we moved back to Chicago. And we worked in a bunch of different places, both as cooks and sous chefs. She's a pastry chef. And eventually we got to the point to where we had a pretty specific idea of what we wanted our restaurant to be. And an opportunity came along that seemed good at the time. And we took it. So we opened Motto in 2008, and it did pretty well for us. We were open for just shy of 3 years, and we were able to be one of the only whole animal restaurants in the city.
You were a chef first?
Yeah, I cooked for a long time. And the last restaurant we had, I've been butchering animals for a while, but the last restaurant that we had, it was all whole animal. Mm-hmm. The only thing we couldn't do whole was beef because we just didn't have the cooler space, but I would call my beef farmer and say, "What do you have that no one else is buying?" I sold, you know what a Palaron steak is?
Never heard of it.
A lot of people call it they call it the flat iron.
Flat iron, I know what that is.
And there's a big line of tissue that runs through the middle of it.
You'll cut that tissue out?
Well, you can leave it whole and use it as a braising cut. I had a guy buy it and make chili with it. It's the best chili he ever had.
Did you spell it for me?
P-A-L-E-R-O-N. The thing is, most people just leave that on the blade and cut shoulder blade steaks. And that's my whole shoulder blade cut into 3 different cuts. And I sell them all. I feel like Chicago is catching up in that places like Northern California, New York, and Portland and Seattle have been kind of in that mindset a little bit longer. And it's been much more accessible, whereas in the landlocked Midwest, where you have a really long, cold winter, it's much more difficult. I mean, when we were at the restaurant, we had local food, meat, produce, fish on our menu year-round. And in February, it was tough. When other people say, other chefs come to us and say, "Yeah, it's great in the summer, but in the wintertime, we just buy the commodity stuff." Like, oh, that's your decision. You have to live with it. You have to sleep at night. One of the things that my wife always likes to say in these kinds of interviews is that it's the whole idea of voting with your dollar. You can come to this little butcher shop that's owned by me and my wife, and you can buy stuff from us. And you can not only support our small local business, but you can know the money is going directly to the farmer. There's no middleman. There's no corporation that owns this stuff. And we the farmers come here and I write the farmer a check. We're more expensive than the Jewel, but we're in most cases less expensive than Whole Foods.
This is yours.
Parsley. Rosemary.
See, now that's rosemary.
Well, that's in the greenhouse, so that's outside, you can tell.
She was nice, and I couldn't help taking
Yeah.
it. It's not your rosemary.
And that's for you.
Wonderful. Look at this. This is spring growth. Gorgeous.
Looks good.
Might have some flowers on there. I don't know yet. Some of them do.
Cool. Oh, this stuff is unbelievable.
All right. Well, ta-ta.
Thanks. Man, put your nose in there, man. We're first and foremost about the quality and the responsibility of what we're doing. And we take that very seriously. And I think most of our customers so far have responded very well to that. And there's always a few people that don't get it. We're more about buying our animals whole and committing to the whole thing and trying to tell people that, we don't have a New York strip. I'm very sorry, but maybe we can talk you into something else, maybe something you've never tried. We can customize a lot of what we do to suit people's needs. And mainly, yeah, we call ourselves butchers, but we've been cooks a lot longer. So, yeah, it's funny. People think we would want to be the only ones doing this, but we really want to see it spread to everything. More butchers, more people getting fish, more produce markets, and, So, want a paddle bone?